Hi everyone, MU Women podcast. Natalie's back again with Jack. It's just a casual one today, Jack. I mean, I think we've come on a bit late. We've not scheduled it properly, but a lot of things have happened. Since I last spoke to you 2 weeks ago, and we've just seen today Parma's been signed up for Bristol. Bristol signed another player. Players are now being signed. There's talk that our players are back around the 13th of July. I know they're all getting excited. I'm seeing little things saying countdown. Lotters coming home. It's exciting times. How are you feeling in yourself, Jack? But how are you feeling about it all?
I've not really given it that much thought about it just yet. When they maybe start to announce some things, like whether it's fixtures or transfers or maybe a few more contracts. I mean, I know that we had a few new like extensions with Tooney and Amy T and
Nigel, Jess.
Yes, Jess, of course. So if we get a few more extensions and transfers or in, out and fixtures announced, then I'll start to get into the groove of it, I think.
Yeah, because this time last year we already knew it was a derby. So obviously, hopefully soon we'll find out about, the fixture list. They seem adamant that it's going to start on the 5th of September. So we're hoping we can hear from it soon. What's your take then? Do you think, on just generally what's been happened, of who's left, of who's come in, of who's been renewed, and for the length that they've been renewed, do you think it's all reasonable?
Well, I don't think that there's such a thing as really like long-term contracts yet in women's football. Like, around the world, you see like deals that are 1 year and that they have maybe an option for another year, something like that. Like you don't see it like the men that are like 3, 4, 5 years, something like that up front. At least not yet. Maybe that will change in time. So I think it's standard. I'm happy that Jess is staying, obviously. I'm happy that Amy Turner is staying. And Tooney as well. Yeah, I'm pleased so far with the extensions. There are a few more that I'm waiting to hear on.
Yeah.
Extensions. Millie and Leah for me would be a major announcement. Same goes for Casey probably as well.
Yeah. Leah's just made one though, didn't she? I think was it 2 years or was it 3 years? Early on in the season, Leah definitely got announced that she had a contract. I don't know how long. I think it might have been 2.
I can't remember. I seriously can't remember.
I know LJ's got a 3-year, which is big. And for me, I think, LJ, Millie, potentially Katie as well, Leah definitely, they should be on that kind of length. I know, like, say, Jackie and Hayley are on the 3 years, and they'll be going into their 2nd year now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're not going to see like 5 years like Scott, but for me, 3 years for your LJs, your Leahs, your Millies, Jackie, your Hayley, stuff like that. That's what you want to see, isn't it? Because I think that shows a commitment to these girls. Because for me, they can be anything. Those definitely all of them, but definitely like this the key players, isn't there?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in terms of players leaving, Lizzie, I think it was probably the right call for both sides. I mean, she did well in the first season in the championship. No one's going to take away what she's done in terms of first goal, first win against Liverpool.
Amazing.
But not that she had a lot of chances, but from what she had, it looked like she had a bit of trouble stepping up to that next level. So it's understandable. I know that you have a very strong connection with Amy Palmer, and that's a bit of disappointment to see her go. I think, looking at it, I'm wondering whether there was maybe consideration from her, getting maybe minutes. Maybe I think maybe she was wanted, but the question was whether or not she get minutes again. And at her age, she's a developing player. She wants to play, and I understand that.
I think, God, this is just us all assuming, and whispers. No one's saying it's true. It's only true when you read it from the club. But
yeah,
I did hear that she was offered, but she didn't stay. And which is, she went out on loan. She absolutely she was their best player. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Sheffield. I think even they would say that she's the best player. She was the best midfielder. She was developing every day. There were still little bits that she could have done better on. Everyone could have, everyone can always do better. But like you say, young player developing, needs to be playing week in, week out. That's what she will do at Bristol, in my opinion. She's going in there now as their best midfielder. She used to play for them. Maybe she didn't get a lot of game time before, came to United. First season in the Championship, we learned a lot. Went to the Euros. Played in Sheffield, but was constantly training with Casey. Then obviously like Haiti was there, Alex was there, and Jackie Haley've come in. Tooney's doing so well as well. Like, for me, she was playing that last game before lockdown in that 10, and it's her sort of spot now. I think someone else has got to take it from her. Whereas, say Amy, she was against Hayley Ladd, or say Jackie, and I think that's a harder spot to take. Especially Hayley, the way Hayley played. We can't say anything about Hayley. She won our Player of the Year. Everyone voted for Hayley Ladd. It was, she's our best signing in my opinion. And obviously Amy needs to play. I'm not saying that she wouldn't play, but she probably wants to play week in, week out. Whereas maybe at United she would have played a couple of cups. I'm really disappointed though that when she did come back, she didn't get her game time. Obviously, it is what it is. She had to come back. We had injuries. I think it was a good move to bring her back. She probably would have played, but obviously COVID happened. We had a lot of games coming up. She probably would have got time. But I'm obviously gutted. I think she can go on and be whatever she wants to be, but we'll have to see. It's not at United. It wasn't to be, and I think she will, like I said, go on and people are messaging me like, oh, she's going to do what Ebony did. Listen, she could develop at that fast rate, because even anyone who watched Rich podcast said in Sheffield, Ebony wasn't, like say, tearing it up. She did score a lot, but she wasn't tearing it up. She had to step up to that next level. Whereas for me, I think Palmer's been better than Ebony Salmon was for Sheffield. So for me, I think it's going to be a mad thing to see when they both come back, or whatever they do when the season starts. But yeah, Fiona's saying at her age she needs games to develop 100%.
Yeah, well, the one thing I will say is that for better or worse, again, going back to contract situations in the women's game, it seems that there's a lot of fluidity in terms of movement. So you don't know. Maybe if she, proves herself at a certain level at Bristol week in, week out, you don't know. Maybe she'll come back one day. I don't know.
I can see. I don't know what people think. Fiona's in here, or anyone else is. I know Deb was before. I can see Ebony coming back. Hiya, Jay. United should be doubling down their young players, developing them as a club. There's no need to go out and buy a lot of players when we're going to have great potential. Listen, I say it always about what United is for me. This is nothing to do with women's football. United is about bringing through them kids. Look at what we've got there. Rashford, Mason, that is the United way. You can't tell me differently. I don't care about, it's not about women's football now. It's about Man United. And that is the Man United way to be bringing through these kids. But what I will say, Jay, is some of them devs, the under 21s, the girls are fantastic. And I think midfield for the girls in the under-21s is our strongest position. So potentially, she brought on Rebecca May over her. So hopefully that's somewhere that she's looking, Casey, because I want to see a lot of Rebecca May and Tara Bunn and even Chloe Williams next year.
I'll say that you're right that it is United's policy to develop youth. With that said, it's not always been necessarily academy youth. We've had Ronaldo, we've had Rooney, we've had Rio Ferdinand, we've had plenty of players in time, whether they've been proven or unproven, or whether we've developed them to the next level. We don't, it's great to have a backbone of academy, and I'm a big fan at the moment of Mason Greenwood, obviously, and for me, Brandon Williams should be starting ahead of Luke Shaw. At the same time, United, by definition, the idea is that you go out and find the best players for now and for the future. So, yes, we want to push the academy. At the same time, we want to see both teams, men and women. We want to see them challenging for trophies as soon as possible. I'm not saying sacrifice the academy, sack them off, but you need that mix. All United teams, great United teams in the past, they've had that mix of homegrown talent and people that we've brought from elsewhere, whether they've been young or experienced. I mean, I think about when obviously, one of our greatest ever players, Cantona, he wasn't a United youth player, but putting him in there, it allowed other youth players come through. Your Beckham, Scholes, Giggs. Develop.
Yeah. I mean, John Neville's just joined in. Hi, John. And Fiona's said again, the team needs a mixture of youth and experience. A lot of young players from the Championship, so need to add a star player in one or two positions, which I totally agree. You said bringing in youth, and to be fair, Palmer was brought in, Ebony was brought in. The one who's actually probably our best player, Lauren James, 18, is youth. I don't think Casey isn't giving time to youth. I see it the other side as well, why people are upset over Palmer leaving and upset over, for me, Palmer and Ebony are the ones that hit the hardest. I know we'll go on to ones that hit you the hardest, but Palmer and Ebony hit the hardest because they are that youth and you see that potential in them, and you watch them grow every week, if anything year. Even the one who I've seen grow the most as a youth, Antoony, is one I've seen grow even from the start of the season to now. But Lauren, the way she was last year, then obviously it was we had a tough start, but even the Liverpool game, she scored a goal, but it still wasn't the Lauren James that we'd probably see if we saw her play now. It would be a totally different Lauren James. I mean, the way that she has come on, is amazing. And Casey gives even Millie's youth. She's our youth, but
yeah. But I will say, in regards to Lauren, you have to remember as well, she's technically not ours. I know that she's still very, very young, but technically she's from Arsenal.
Yeah.
So, we went out and got the best talent, and we have James, but now she's developing under us, and again, I think I've said it plenty of times. I just hope that we can keep her for as long as possible, and that she keeps her head down, she keeps focused, because I think I said it a week or so ago when I was speaking with Mark and Jonathan that she has the potential to be one of the top players in women's football, maybe ever. And I know that's thinking way down the line, and it's up to her to make it happen and work hard. But in terms of pure talent, she has it. So just hope that she works hard and keeps with us as long as possible.
I mean, Jay's just saying it seems like the quality youth players are leaving. I'm feeling what you're saying, Jay. Listen, I would still have Nom Hartley. I would still have, potentially Charlie. I mean, you can say Charlie is your youth player anymore, but you know, I'd still have all these girls. I'd still have Ebony, definitely. I'd still have Palmer. All I can say is that the development team is amazing. It is. There's a kid in there called Poppy Lawson, and she is United through and through. She loves this club, and the way that I see her growing week in, week out, she's the captain of that development team, and she just looks like she's good. She reminds me of Amy Turner. That's the compliment in a way that she reminds me of Amy Turner, but like she could be better. You know what I mean? Like she's that tough, hard tackling, but she's got the pace. Because obviously she's younger than Amy, but she's that kind of Vidic. You know when I say that, we used to say Millie's the Rio, Amy's the Vidic, because she is that kind of way. I know they'd all little gas now, but like everyone talks about her baby girl. We call her Maria Edwards. She is like LJ. The way she can just pick up a ball and hit it, and it's like magic when I watch her. And it's all about these kids working hard though, and that's what Jay said. I want to see the players coming through. Yes, we might lose your Ebony's, your this, but if you then see a Mank girl coming through, I'm not saying that everyone's going to forget about Ebony, but that's what we want to see. And Maria is Mank, Poppy Mank, Rebecca May Mank.
You see, the thing is, for every Rashford or Mason Greenwood or Brandon Williams, how many players don't make it?
Yeah.
You have to keep that in mind. Not everybody makes it, and some of them are pretty good players. They go on and they have a great career somewhere else. But obviously, we want to hope that they have a great career with us. It's down to them, and also a bit of luck. And getting the opportunity and taking the opportunity, and hopefully we see that in years to come.
Because that's what I want to sort of get onto, the opportunities. And I think the opportunity is there. We saw Rebecca May make a debut at Reading, but the opportunity wasn't there this season. And I don't blame Casey for not playing any devs, because, even a game like Leicester, she sort of had to give everyone else a chance, Molly, Lizzie, Rooney, etc. Boy, it is difficult when they're putting out fixtures like that. Do you see a start like we're going to have? Do you see a Conti Cup group like that? Or do you think now it's going to sort of simmer down? I can see us potentially facing 2 or 3 championship teams, maybe have a championship team in the FA Cup, or even a National League team in the FA Cup, and then you might see these kids. Or what do you think? Or do you think we're just going to see derbies after derby after derby?
You see, that's the thing. I don't think that the fixture list kind of helped. Obviously, COVID didn't help. And yeah, it's just one of those things where there didn't seem like a clear opportunity maybe to do it on a bigger level. And again, you look at games this season and in general in women's football, where on the day suddenly, the pitch isn't right, you can't play, and it happens so many times. Or one of my favorites this season, some of the squad is ill, so we're not going to play.
Yeah.
So and that wasn't that was West Ham Tottenham, I think. But it is what it is. There is. I know we've had a chat about this. I've seen things on Twitter and in our group, about professionalism, and someone will take over the league and maybe run a slightly tighter schedule, and there'll be more regulation of things in the league, and I think it would be for the best, because the amount of games that they get cancelled, they get postponed, and it's been well documented on Twitter, the issues that we've had with now trying to get funds back from clubs for matches that were cancelled. So there needs to be far more regulation. Someone needs to take hold of it and actually make it professional football.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to a Lucy Bronze podcast today, and she sort of, how can you say, alluded to it. It's professional. Everyone's training all the time, but it's not real professionalism. The way that, you know, we might know in football. I mean, she plays for Leon. Let's talk of her coming to thingy, but she's saying, you know, she didn't know, you know, even when it was WSL and everyone was full time, it still wasn't really professional. It's only going to Leon where they all train together and they all do this. I mean, she was talking about how she was training with Sancho and stuff. So they were just training with the under, you know, the academy boys, you know. So it wasn't even really when she was there. I mean, sure it's more now, but it wasn't even really fully integrated. And you know, I've seen a lot of hate towards the Premier League potentially taking over. That I just don't understand, because, like you said, there's things like this now with the way we're trying to get money back through tickets. You know, the way games were cancelled. I mean, look at the Premier League. I'll take a game. Spurs, the last game of the season, they had mad sickness and flu. They still had to put a team out. And I think, like you said, you know, in the women's team, oh, you got a bit of flu, okay. And I know people got upset when I said that, but then I was told later, well, no, they are kind of, yeah, you know what I mean? So it is, if they can get away with it, they will do, clubs, which I don't blame them. Fair play to you. You got that one, you know, you rearrange. Fair play to you. If you can do it, do it. But that's what I'm saying. They're just allowed to sort of do anything, I think. And like you say, with the Premier League, it'd be more stringent, run quicker, standards you have to adhere to. For me, I don't see. I know people think, oh, it's just going to be a Premier League, then it'll be the same teams. But if, for example, Bristol have just gone out and signed Amy Palmer, they got signed an Australian international. They've signed, obviously, they've got Ebony Salmon tied down long term. They've signed Faye Bryson, or whatever, however you say her name. But they're quality players. So who's to say that Bristol can't still be in the Super League when it's a Premier League, Super League, or whatever, Women's Premier League? If you stick to the rules, you don't get kicked out. You know what I mean? Look at a team like Bournemouth. They're in the Premier League. That you can probably compare their situations the same. You know, it's the smallest ground in the Premier League. It's, you know, people say, what's this? You know, it's not a Premier League kind of atmosphere, you know, place that you think you'd go, Bournemouth. But if you get there, you stay there. That's it. You know, I think people are scaremongering, I'll say. I mean, what's your opinion, Jack, when you see people reacting negatively to, say, someone else taking over or the FA not running it?
I think that for one reason or another, people are afraid of change, and they're happy maybe with the way things are. They don't want to see anything. You know, they're afraid what might happen if and when and that kind of thing. And again, I don't want to sound disrespectful or anything like that. We all have our different ideas of you know, what's best for the game. For me, I believe that what's best for the game is try and grow it, and the way to grow it is to make it more professional. Is to develop teams, develop rivalries, and you know, make it must see. I mean, for me, watching United Women is must see football, but obviously that's not the case for a lot of people, and you have to ask why. Why is that? And the reason is because there is a lack of investment, a lack of professionalism in certain areas. And you know, I hate to go on about it, but when you get a decision such as a ball hits someone in the head and it's given as a penalty, you know, just as a small example, it shows the lack of professionalism, because how can you take the game seriously? If that's a decision that's given against you, how can you take it seriously? And if you can't take a game seriously, then why invest your time in it? Why invest your money in it? You know, might as well just not go, because it doesn't matter. If you can get a decision like that, and you know, if everybody wants to be, you know, oh, friendly, you know, we'll take photos with each other after we're beaten 6-0, and, you know, this
I'll come on to this, Jack. I'll come on to this, but Jay's just said a good point. Anyone but the FA isn't promoting it right. Right people in place, make it happen. I totally agree. And what you sort of said about change, Emily Sanders from the BBC said to me the other day, with growth comes change. When I was sort of said, you know, we talked about Alex Greenwood going to City, and she was sort of like, great news for the WSL if Greenwood and Bronze are heading back. I personally like to see rivalries forming in the women's game. So big fans of some Barmy. Big fan of some Barmy Army outrage when their former player joined City. More of this, please. Classic atmosphere intensifies fan base, etc. And Famood, I'm not even good at saying names. She writes for the Telegraph. The songs were brutal. I can't wait. And they both said they're buzzing. And she said, with growth comes change. And I know you did an article about her coming back. I don't agree with your article, to be honest, Jack. And I know you're saying, I think it is what it is. She left. She's coming back now. But she's not coming back for no happy clappy. Let's all hug and kiss her. And, you know, fair play. She won us the title, but it's on. It's on. It's like what the two journalists just said there. They're buzzing. I'm buzzing. Kyle Thornton, I'm sure you'll watch later. He's buzzing. John, buzzing. I can't wait. And people are like, I can't wait for the songs. Got little things in my head. You know, every time she touches the ball, you know, things like that. People are gonna be excited. People are saying to me, it's gonna be hostile, Natalie. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that. I think it's gonna drag some fans from Old Trafford over just to see what it's gonna be like. And I can't wait for that because I think more people, they'll be more amped up, more excited, more, like I said, like someone said to me, hostile towards it. It's gonna be a classic game no matter what. And you know, some people have said to me, oh, this and that, you're gonna rile her up and this, but let me tell you, she knows what she knows. If you watched her in the thing, she said, I fear for any opposition who comes up against the Burmese army. So she said it herself. So she not, you know what, I don't understand. I know you've wrote that article and I saw some comments to it, and I don't understand what people think they're watching. I just don't understand. For me, football is about, you hate Man City and you hate Liverpool because that's it. And I don't want Liverpool to go out and win. I don't want other team, when I'm playing against a team, I don't want them to score a goal. Why would I want that? I'm cheering for my team. It's 100% Man United. So why am I going to sit there and be like, oh, well done, Alex? No, it's not going to happen like that. And I don't understand it. I will never understand it. They'll probably never understand me. I mean, Rich talked about it on our Barmy Army podcast as well. We're just two different cultures, two different things. But like she's just said, that Emily from BBC, with growth comes change. And you've sort of said it. People don't want the change. But when you grow, it's going to happen. Well, I mean, what do you think, Jack?
Well, I think for some people, not changing is convenient. You know, because some people, and don't get me wrong, that there are elements to the women's game that I can see why people don't want it to change, because it's more accessible. You know, people get to bring, although there are children in men's games, you know, it's more family friendly, the women's product, and you get to see the players afterwards. And you and I both know how many people go and get their autographs and photos afterwards. And that's why I think some people, you know, that they want to keep it like it is. And from some people's perspective, and especially I think the top teams, your Chelsea's, Arsenal, City, it's convenient for them. It's comfortable. Nobody's challenging them. You know, I wrote in the article, you know, we finished fourth. It was our first season, and well done to us. But we finished 13 points behind Arsenal in third. And so for those teams, you know, why would they want to change? They're having it good. They're having it easy. So, you know, and you and I both talked about when they played against us, they weren't really that good. They were better, probably, but they weren't really that good. So it only takes a bit more in order to really challenge them. And the fans, you know, they're probably, for one reason or another, from the list that I mentioned, they don't want change because they are afraid that will threaten their fan experience or their teams in the league. What do I think? The reason I'm sad over Alex Greenwood potentially joining Manchester City, first of all, I think she's a very good player. I want the best players to be at United. Second, she was our captain. She left after one season. To think that she's now going to one of our biggest rivals in club football in general, but obviously specifically in women's football, I'm obviously not a fan of that. That said, you know, in the article I wrote for the 90 minutes, you know, the team, the club comes first every single time. I know that there are some that, you know, maybe they won't be so, oh, boo, you know, maybe they'll be a bit more, you know, they'll want their autographs and photos afterwards, so they won't, you know, be that aggressive towards her. But for me, yeah, it will be giving her a hostile welcome, just like we'd give any Manchester City or any team.
Any Manchester City player or Liverpool player, well, it's I can't get it in my head, and maybe they can put it in my head, but for me, growing up, and no one taught me how to support Man United. Let's get it right. I know people. Hey, Jack the lad, just tuned in. I know people. My dad passed it down. This passed. No one passed nothing down to me, right? My dad, growing up, said women don't watch football or don't play it. So that's the kind of thing I had. But to tell you what really got me into it, he did take me one day after begging. You know, I was about 10 years old when I first went to Old Trafford, and we got ticket near the away fans. So you know where the away fans sit, and we were like on that border. So there's like police line here, and we were there, and it was versus Blackburn, and it was, oh, Jack, I loved it, and maybe this is the kind of person that I am, but I was 10 years old, so how did I know this? But it wasn't watching the match. It was a boring match, to be fair. It was 0-0. I don't know if anyone remembers. Roy Keane played, and all game I was just like, small town in Burnley. Yeah, I didn't even know what I was saying. But it was all your people in a row looking at them, and all them in a row looking at you. Oh, you know, Manchester's blue, and you race you back to London, all these things. And then we were like small town. It was just, it was fantastic. And I was 10 years old, and I'm a girl. And they were swearing and they were doing, but it is what it is, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? I was a girl, 10 years old, and that was me. Boom, hooked. I mean, I already loved United since then, but that just, I already loved United because they did the treble, they won loads of things, but I didn't really watch them regularly, you get what I mean? But then the minute because I was like 7 when the treble was, and so I did watch it, but I liked all kind of teams, let's say. I know Jay just said it there, Chelsea thought they had a great team. I loved Zola, I loved Flo, I loved all in the 90s. And I started to get older and realise, no, you don't support another team. And then I went into the Old Trafford, and that was it, boom, finished. I wanted to go back. I wanted to be back in the same place I was. I wanted to be always wanted to be singing, never wanted to be silent, because the first proper experience I remember was that, how can you say it, Jack? I don't even want to say animosity, because people use all these harsh words, but it's banter. It was that banter. It was that you're defending what's yours and they're defending what's theirs, and no one was throwing punches, no one was doing anything. It was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And for me, that's football. And I like this football games, that whatever comes up, I don't care. I'd sit in the stadium next to City fans and sing all game and never even watch the game, because I'm not bothered. Because for me, like I said, the first time I remember, it was that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Some of the best games I've been to have been 0-0 drab games because he's singing 90 minutes. Football ruins sometimes.
And I think that what it comes down to a lot as well is that obviously we have a different definition of what football is to some other people, and that's fine. You know, people have their opinion. That's okay. Where I have a bit of trouble with sometimes is the idea that because you think something different to someone else, then your opinion isn't valid. You shouldn't have that opinion. So, you know, it's from the article, like a couple of comments that came up. Oh, well, why do you have to boo Alex Greenwood? Surely no one's forcing you to boo Alex Greenwood. No one's forcing me to boo Alex Greenwood, but she will be a Manchester City player. I will boo her. And, you know, and even more so because, you know, sadly, I'd prefer she didn't. I'd like to have had her back, but she was a United player. She's going to be a City player. For us, you know, nobody was a big fan of Carlos Tevez. And I'm not saying that Alex Greenwood is Carlos Tevez. She's far from it. I can't see Alex Greenwood holding up a stupid sign that says "Rest in peace."
You know what I can see Alex Greenwood doing is reacting to it, and then she'll be a Carlos Tevez.
Maybe. Maybe.
I can see her trying to give it back, and that's what's gonna.
Maybe.
And I can see definitely someone. How can I say it in a nice way? Leave one on.
Maybe.
Whether that's, you should say that. And then it all kicks off, and then she's fight, because that's what she was like with us. She was ready to fight, and I think she'll be ready to fight, and then that's what's gonna
see that's
like what match. Oh, excitement. I don't understand people who don't want to see that. I don't want to see. You know, I think our players are gonna go out knowing that what it's gonna be like, and they're gonna, whether they're friends with her or not. Listen, what you do after, in the privacy of your own home, in wherever, you do you, babe. But when you're on that field, you've got the Man United badge on, and you've got to stick it to them properly. And I know people might say, "Oh, this is not women's football," but it was women's football when they were saying, "Yeah, we stuck it to them. We did so they know what it means." We tell them enough times. I mean, they said to me, "Natalie, we got City next after that Spurs game." I said, "This is what you need to do, Katie. You need to do this. You need to get in amongst them. You need to put pressure on Steph. You need to put pressure on, you know, do this, do that, pressurize them. What does it mean to you?" And then when Jess scored that second goal, that's what it means, mate. That's what it means. You know, the way she was jumping in front of the players, she don't care, mate. When Abby scored that goal and they ruled it off, do you think we care, mate? Yeah? This is the thing. Oh, you can't boo her. Listen, don't talk to me about what I can and can't do, because I'll be booing her. Whether I am a bit upset like with you, so sort of emphasise, but it matters too much, mate. Man United, like you say, Man United comes first. Yeah. And Alex is a nice girl and all this. No one's saying that she's not a nice girl. No one's saying that she's not done a lot for us. But like you say, she left under a cloud, whether it was right or wrong, whoever you trust, believe, whatever. But she left under a cloud, and she was our captain. Now she's coming back to City, you know. And people have messaged me like, this is why they don't like women's football. Not because of the football that's on play, not because of anything, but because people are too sensitive. What do you mean you're going to boo her? You know, for example, I don't want to slag her off now, but Molly, she posted that thing, and people got upset, and people are saying, why are you getting upset? And I think to myself, do you not understand Man United and Liverpool? How do I have to explain it to you? You know, I don't understand how you don't understand.
Yeah,
but then they turn around and watch men's football and say, "Oh."
No, if we're gonna go about Molly, like, listen, I like Molly as well, and I thank her for what she did in the first season. I know that this season hasn't probably gone the way she would have liked. And there's speculation about whether or not she'll continue with us. Who knows? But you are a Manchester United player. You know, at home you can, you know, amongst friends you can.
Yes.
If you want to send a text message, I mean, I'll say it. I have friends that are Liverpool fans, and I send
Yeah.
them, literally, I send them a text message, congratulations, well done. I'm sad, but I'm happy for you. Okay? But first of all, I'm not a public figure. I'm not contracted with Manchester United. And I definitely wouldn't post on social media, hey, well done, Liverpool, happy for you, or something like that.
Jack, the fact that our own Twitter account hasn't, I think that speaks. Yeah, and that's the club that she represents. Whether people think it's this and that, it's the club that she represents. And I mean, we don't know if she does anymore. Let's not beat around the bush. You know, from day one, it didn't even look good. You know what I'm saying? And then she went out to Sheffield, and but I would have expected an announcement already. And the fact that none's not come, I don't know what they're doing. But like I said, I go back. You can't trust anything I say, people. Everything I hear is just whispers, what people have told me. But her name was on when people said these are the people going to leave. It was Rora, Lizzie, Palmer, and it was Molly. Yeah, and I don't know what's going on. We probably never know. But her name was down on the list, kind of.
I think.
And I think last year Liverpool won the Champions League, but she played all season and she was one of the best players and she won the cup. But you didn't see anything, did you?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And that's bigger than the Premier League. Even though, Liverpool waited 30 years for the Premier League, but they won the Champions League last year. You didn't see boom. But she's not played this year and this and that. And I mean, someone said to me, she's sticking two fingers up. Do you blame her? Casey, this and the other. They've had a fallout. Okay, well that's why she's done it. Then don't say, oh, no, don't come with the excuse, please, because like you say, our own Twitter account hasn't done it. So why is she doing it?
No, I'm first of all, even if in regards to lists or names, you just have to look at last season in terms of the amount of game time that she had, and also when she was on the pitch, it didn't really look that good, unfortunately. But speculation at the moment. Who knows? But I respect and I like Molly again for what she did in the first season. I've got nothing against her, but whether she intentionally did it or whether she didn't intentionally do it, because maybe she thinks, oh, well, I am from Liverpool and I should congratulate them. And maybe she thinks, oh, there's a difference between the women's game and the men's game. Well, for us, we are a very specific brand of fans, as we've covered. There is no difference. And that's why her doing that is out of order. Maybe she knows it, maybe she doesn't know it, but it's not what any of us want to see from a Manchester United player. I mean,
I heard her on a podcast, Jack, and a podcast or Q&A, and she said, and the person said, growing up, who was your idol? And the way her face changed, and she sort of was like, oh, like she knew, she said Steven Gerrard, but she knew that, and she said, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to upset anyone. So they're not thick, you know what I'm saying? These people, oh, maybe no, there's no maybe. She knows, and then you saw the reaction. She would have known, and then people are like, oh, and I just think to myself, it's like you say, too sensitive, and that's why that's putting people off, not encouraging people to join. People don't want to come because they're not frightened, but they just don't want aggravation for being a United fan. I go to a game and I boo Liverpool players, and the next minute you're in the papers because you're booing Liverpool players and talking about disrespect. I just don't understand it. And like you say, with growth comes change, and I think some people are not ready for change. But when you're in a 20,000 seater stadium, or if you're at Old Trafford, what are you going to do then? Because that's the change. That is the way that they're pushing for it to go to big stadiums. They've already shown it. So they want Sky to do it. They want this, they want the Premier League. So people are all like, oh, women's game, this and that. But, they're the girl. I want the girls to be paid like the men. It might not be ever to the extent like £100,000 a week or whatever. But I want them to be able to have a house and have whatever, a house and a car when they finish, you know. And that's only going to happen if more people are watching it, and more people are going to feel like they can watch it if they feel comfortable in what they're doing, by sort of stopping people from doing what they want to do. Because we're not stopping anyone from sitting together and clapping hands and this and that. That's fine. You do that. But I want to do this here where I am at the back row. That's why I'm at the back row. So I'm not blocking anyone. So I can stand up. So I can, you know, be away and be amongst myself and just sing my heart out and sing it out against Liverpool and sing it out against City. But I realised that they probably might not want to do that, but then leave me to just do me.
I think that, you know, going back a second in regards to, you know, Molly saying Steven Gerrard, listen, we both know why Millie Turner wears number 21 at United. She loves David Silva. She, you know, although she grew up in United's academy, you know, there is obviously an affinity with City there. But the way she plays against City, you wouldn't know it. And she would never say anything like that because she knows, she understands. Which is why I'm saying I don't know why, and I don't want to speculate why Molly did what she did. All I'm going to say is that it wasn't right for her to do it. You know, it's not what we expect of a Manchester United player. And in regards to growing the game, you know, I think that there is an element there of, if you expect people to just be nice, not develop rivalry, that kind of thing, it just becomes desensitized. It's robotic. It's not natural. You know, why do you play football? Why do you support football? You have two teams on a pitch. They're trying to beat each other. You know, I don't mean physically, but in a match, in a game. One of them is trying to prove that they're better than the other. And the fans in the stand, they are divided. One of them, you know, one set of fans want these players to win. One set of fans want those players to win. So, you know, if one team loses and one team wins, you're going to upset one set of fans. I mean, I'm breaking it down to like very, very simple.
You have to, Jack, because I don't understand what... There's some people that come into a game, though, just not wanting anyone to win. And that's what I do not understand. Like, they're happy if it's a draw. Because, like, for example, now, I love Ebony Salmon. Everyone knows I love Ebony Salmon. And she's playing for Bristol. But Bristol aren't my team. I wanted Man United to win that day. I was saying to all the girls, right, we're going to win. Ebony Salmon scored. So she is a player that I love, and she scored. But my heart broke into 1,000 pieces because she scored against my team. If Ebony Salmon plays against Everton, yeah, I want Bristol to win because I want Ebony to score. And I'm happy that Ebony scores that day.
Yeah.
You know? Charlie Devlin, she scores against whatever. I'm happy because it's Charlie Devlin. But Charlie Devlin came and plays against us and scores. I'm bloody well upset because it's my team. That's what people don't understand. And Amy Palmer, I love Amy Palmer, but if she comes and, you know, I love Amy Palmer to death. I love that girl, right? But I want Hayley to dominate her because Hayley is wearing the shirt that matters to me. Yeah. And that's what I think, that people just follow players over, say, your badge. And that's not what we have come in and done, what we will do. Because even though, like I've said, all these players that play for different teams, and there's more than that I do really like. I like all the Sheffield girls. But hell, if Sheffield United played against Man United, I'm going mad. I'm going in, mate. And I'll go in behind Becky Flaherty's goal going mad because I'm happy because my team have won. And the thing is about Sheffield girls, they know that. So if the players know it, that's why I say Molly knows. And whether it's on purpose or accident or retweeted it by accident, I don't know. But she knows, right? And, you know, I don't buy all these excuses. The players want this kind of fandom. So
I'll go back to what I alluded to earlier. You said about people want draws. People want just to be happy. Apparently, for some fans, even if you lose, it's okay. I think it was Bristol by chance. They lost 6-0 to Manchester City, and afterwards, what we saw was, Bristol fans and Manchester City fans, they're having a good time together. Which, good luck to them, but you will not see me celebrating with the other set of fans after losing at all. Not even drawing, but not drawing, not losing, and definitely not losing 6-0. I will not be celebrating with Manchester City fans if we lose 6-0. I'm sorry.
I'm taking no picture of Man City fan, period, right? I appeared on the podcast. I don't mind that. I do that because it's just a thing where I'm talking.
Yeah.
I went in on them. I went in on this. I went in on the ref. I went, Abby Mack, that goal. I went in, and they took the piss. And I think, yeah, fair enough. You took the piss. I'd take the piss back out of you. Bristol, we lost. Rich was there. He went, can I get a picture? I got a picture. I wasn't no smiling though. I got a picture. He gave me a badge. I gave him a thing. I don't mind, but I was absolutely, that day I was, and this is the only day that I've ever done this, and I feel guilty even talking about it. I just walked out. I could not look at any of them in the eyes. That's how much it meant. I know that's silly. My housemate says, you're like a chimp, Natalie. Why does it matter so much? Because he's like, you're not even thinking straight. You're saying that you hate Liverpool. Why? Listen, from 10 years, this was put into my, this is something. I'm 28, I'm only 30 now, so don't ask me why. It's just the way it is, right? And like you say, for a lot of people, I'm just timid. We've mellowed ourselves down. I think, if anything, if they wanted to see real, if they wanted to see real, go to Old Trafford and tell me about who's bad. Yeah, because some people don't understand what it actually like. And Jay's gone, who likes losing? I'm ready to riot. Call me out. Any players rubbish? Yeah, but I'm telling you, when you lose to your rivals, I mean, thank God it never happened. Thank God, thank the Lord that they beat Liverpool, because that was a game that they had to win. And I even said to Lauren, she scored the goal. I said, why are you not doing more? And she looked at me like, you what? And because she made me angry in that first half, angry. And I said to her, why are you not thinking? And she looked at me like, but I said, but at least you scored in it. And she was happy at the end. But, Jess and Siggy cut on me, and Jess and Katie come out, boom, yes, beat them, because they're mank. They understand. Katie's a mank. Jess is Manchester United. They understand. You can't play, this ain't no game. I don't understand. It's not playground, yeah? If I wanted to play playground, I would. But I worked with loads of Liverpool. I got a really good Liverpool mate. I'd go out in Liverpool and drink, you know? Yeah. But it's not playground. I've got loads of really good Everton mate. Everton actually I think they're really good. I think they're going to do a lot of things. I think their fans are growing. They've got a really good fan base. But, and what I will say about Everton, that rivalry, it's not even a rivalry for me. This is what makes me laugh. One of our players started that, and said to me, Ian was there, Ben was there, who I don't know who else, after the lose game, and Thingy had left, Willie Kirk, and they went, you better turn up, more numbers, that's what they said, be louder, stick it on Willie, let him know, it wasn't none of this, because they said to me, don't clap for him, because we were saying, he's done well for us, we'll say to him, don't even speak to him, don't take no pictures with him, all these things in the women's game. I was told, don't do anything, don't be nice to him, stick it on him. And I said, well, what about Liverpool? We've got Scousers, don't you worry about that, we'll sort that out, you sing all the songs about him, and all the songs about Everton, negative, so it's what makes me laugh. You're quick to tell me that, but then the minute, we can't do it for Liverpool. We can't do it for Alex. For Alex, it's different. It ain't no different for me, mate. Because City, if Alex went to Everton, okay, it's different. But she didn't. She went to City, right?
Even then, you know, I don't want to see her playing for another club in England. You know, that's the truth.
Yeah,
but
I get where you're coming from.
Even more so that she's gone to City.
Chelsea, Arsenal, I'm not bothered. You know, Everton, Chelsea, Arsenal, I'm not bothered. You know, good clubs, fair play to her. You know, there's talk that she might have tried to come back to United, and Casey said no, it is what it is. But she's going to City. Obviously, she wants to be up north. I've seen all the reasons why she's going City, but at the same time, I saw the reasons why Willie went to Everton. But players still come out and said, do this, do that, do the other. So why is it different when it's Willie Kirk at Everton, but it's not? It's different for Alex Greenwood. They can't pick and choose when the rivalry happens. And you know, for me, the biggest game, man, woman, child, boys, girls, will always be Liverpool. Second, City. Thank you. Liverpool aren't in the WSL anymore. They don't care about the women's team. I feel sorry for the players. I feel sorry for the fans. That's it.
Yeah.
The club and the management, no, sorry for, because she's the one who turned around and said, "Oh, we expect people to come out and support us." And I thought to myself, do you even know what Liverpool Man United is? And you're the manager. But people say this is problematic, what we're saying today, Jack. I mean, what do you say back to that? You know, this is not what we want in the women's game, and this and that. And what do you say back to people like that? Because I think, well, I'm the one following, I'm putting all my money in, so don't tell me what you want. But what do you say back?
Well, I think in a very polite way, you have your opinion, I have mine, and we'll see. You know, as long as, you know, I'm not telling them what to do. You know, if they don't want to boo players, if they want to keep it as it is, they want 200 people in attendance every week, they want to clap and shake hands and have photos and autographs, and, you know, they expect other rival supporters to come up to them and congratulate them for beating them 6-0 and having photos with them. You know, if they think that that's the way forward, you know, keep it as it is, good luck. But I don't buy into it. And I'm not telling them what to do. They can keep it as they like it, but I expect them not to tell me what to do. And don't be surprised if, you know, I react maybe differently than what they would react. You know, if we lose to Manchester City, or if we lose to anyone, I'm not going to go afterwards and be like, "Oh yeah, good game, I'm so happy for you." No, doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I agree, Jack. You know, but we're the minority. That's it, what I say. So we probably have to, for a couple of years, take this heat. Things will change slowly. You know, with growth comes change. Now BBC reporters are coming out and saying different. Now Telegraph reporters are coming out saying different. I remember when we first started, we were told, "You're just cheerleaders. You stay in your lane." Now they can't say that because we've probably got more followers than they've even got. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, how can she say we're changing the game? That's what Casey says. I'm not changing it on the pitch. We're changing it in terms of perception, in terms of all this. But, you know, Jay's out here telling me rivalries are made. Everton was made by one of my players, mate. So, yeah. Tottenham, only because we were in a thing. Reading, meh, not really that bothered. But there were 2 games, I said it, Liverpool and City. Whether City are going to win the Champions League or not, I don't care. Yeah? Whether City are miles above us, I don't care. Yeah? Liverpool and City, that matters the most. Yes, Everton matters, but that was a man-made thing. They wanted that. They wanted that rivalry, but then they don't want Liverpool and City rivalry. Sorry, love. I'm telling you, my rivals are this. And I'll then boo Everton and Willie Kirk all for you all the time, yeah? But you've got to respect my rivalry is these 2 teams first and foremost. And that's the way it is. And, you know, we're coming towards the end. Jack, I don't know if you want to, I've enjoyed this, you know, just, I don't know why we have to say, but it's like, because we're in the minority, we've brought this attitude and we've come at it hard and fast, and you know, we've come in and just done what we wanted to do from the start. And I think we've not gone to other people, because that's what I've found as well. People wanted us to go to them and ask them how it was supposed to be done. But what makes me laugh is I am going to tell anyone how to support. You're not going to tell anyone how to support. Don't tell me how to support. But what makes me laugh is I remember the very first game I was singing on my own, and then I stopped because I realised, shit, no one's really singing. And then Rachel Brown-Finnis told me never ever stop singing because it means this much and this much. And then you see the reactions of the players, and then so people want me to go and ask them how it's done. No. I got told how it was done by a England Lioness. It's what people don't understand. I got told how it was done, and then we just carried on, and then that's it. We're gonna do it for them.
For me, you know, you have that part. For me, you know, I heard you obviously singing in the back row, and at some point I was like, yeah, I want to join. I want to be a part of it. More than anything, because I thought these players, they deserve it. You know, they deserve for me to back them in the same way that I would back any Manchester United team. They deserve to have me stand up and sing for them. So that is not something that is going to change. And again, you know, people want to do it differently. Fair enough. But this is the way that we support. And, you know, I'm not saying that we can't, you know, you said that we've become mellow. Thank you, Jay. I'm not saying that, you know, I mean, we've done a lot of things like to censor ourselves, take out swearing, this, that, the other. But, you know, in terms of creating a hostile atmosphere to help our team win and rattle the opposition so that they lose, that's not going to change. Sorry. Yeah. We're not here to make up the numbers. We want to win this. We want to win games. We want to win the league. We want to win the trophies, cups. We want to go to the Champions League. We want to win that as well. You know, not here to, you know, be everyone's friend.
Casey said the very first game in the WSL, we want hostile atmosphere. So, you know, I don't understand these people, fans, that are saying differently from what the manager's saying. The manager wants us to stand up and sing and do what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she might not like that we're, you know, she's friends with Vicky or whatever, but she can do that in her own business. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people need to understand. But Jack, I'm going to wrap it up. I really love speaking to you all the time because we get each other. We get each other. You're sitting and calm, but you make me this passion. You make it come out, and you feel me, and I feel you, my brother. But tell people where they can find you, what you're doing, how they can keep in contact if anyone wants to follow you or anything or whatever.
On Ripper48, at Ripper48 on Twitter. I also write for FAWSL Full Time, where you can see my latest article about giving it to Alex Greenwood. Yeah, on Facebook, Jack Adam Morris, on Instagram, Ripper48. And yeah, looking forward to this, and I've enjoyed it a lot, and it's good that we're finishing now. Otherwise, I think my screen would be turning completely black and dark. So it's good that we're finishing now.
I need to get a move on, get a wriggle on, go and see me mates. Right.
Cheers.
See you later. See you later.